First contact with the unknown, the Deep Space Anomaly Station Commander Zephyr of the Galactic Federation's Deep Space Monitoring Post. Omega-7 had seen many strange things in his 40 years of service. Rogue asteroids, dying stars, even the occasional pirate fleet trying to sneak through the outer rim. But nothing had prepared him for what appeared on his screens that quiet Tuesday morning in the Kepler sector. The energy signature was unlike anything in the Federation database. It wasn't the harsh, angular patterns of Thrakari war engines, nor the smooth-flowing curves of celestial merchant vessels. This was something else entirely old, powerful, and moving with a purpose that made Zephyr's forearms tremble as he reached for the emergency communication panel. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Vex, a young Altarian with bright blue skin and curious golden eyes, leaned over the scanning console. "Commander, the signature is getting stronger. Whatever it is, it's big, really big, and it's heading straight for the inner systems." Zephyr's main eye focused on the data while his secondary eyes monitored the surrounding space. In his species, the Keltorians, multiple eyes meant better survival, and right now every instinct told him they would need that advantage. "How big are we talking, Vex?" "Sir, based on the energy output, it's at least 3 times larger than our heaviest battle cruiser. But the strange thing is, it's not broadcasting any identification codes. No diplomatic frequencies, nothing we recognize. It's like it's from outside our known galaxy." The third member of their small crew, Chief Engineer Brix, a stocky reptilian Drachner, looked up from his maintenance panel. His scaled face showed deep concern. "Commander, I've run the signature through every database we have, including the classified military ones. There's only one partial match, and you're not going to like it." Zephyr felt his stomach drop. "Show me." Brix's clawed fingers danced across his console, bringing up an ancient file marked with the highest security clearances. "It's a partial match to old Terran technology. The energy patterns are similar to what we recorded from human ships over 150 years ago, before they went silent." The bridge fell silent, except for the gentle hum of life support systems. Everyone in the galaxy knew about the humans. They had appeared suddenly about 300 years ago, with technology that seemed almost magical. They had been peaceful. Traders at first, then reluctant allies, and finally ... nothing. One day, all human ships simply stopped appearing. Their colonies went dark. Their communication ceased. The galaxy had assumed they had destroyed themselves in some great civil war, as so many species did when they reached a certain level of technological development. "That's impossible," Vex whispered. "The humans have been gone for generations. Our grandparents' remembered them." Zephyr's communicator buzzed with an incoming priority message from Federation Central Command. Admiral Korath's stern face appeared on the screen, his silver skin gleaming under the command center's lights. The Zalaxian was known throughout the Federation for his tactical brilliance and his short temper. "Commander Zephyr, we've detected the anomaly you reported. We're dispatching the 3rd Exploration Fleet to investigate. You are to maintain safe distance and continue monitoring. Under no circumstances are you to attempt direct contact." "Understood, Admiral. But, sir, there's something you should know. Our analysis suggests this might be connected to the lost Terran civilization." Admiral Korath's 4 red eyes narrowed. "Impossible. The humans are extinct. This is probably some Thrakari experimental weapon designed to look like something else. Stay alert and keep broadcasting. Korath out." The silent guardian emerges. 3 hours later, the mysterious vessel finally came within visual range, and what Zephyr saw made him question everything he thought he knew about ship design. The craft was enormous, easily 5 kilometers long, but it moved through space with the grace of a much smaller vessel. Its hull was deep black, not the dull black of stealth coating, but a rich darkness that seemed to absorb light itself. Strange. Patterns ran along its surface, lines that pulsed with a soft blue glow, like veins carrying energy through a living being. "Commander," Vex's voice was barely above a whisper. "It's beautiful." And it was. Despite its size and obvious military nature, there was something elegant about the ship's design. It didn't look like it had been built for war, but rather like it had been crafted by artists who happened to understand the science of destruction. Chief Brix was studying his instruments with growing amazement. "Sir, the power readings are off." "The charts. This thing has more energy running through it than our entire fleet combined. But here's the weird part. It's not charging weapons, not raising shields, not doing anything aggressive at all. It's just ... watching." The ship had taken position exactly at the edge of Federation space, neither advancing nor retreating. It sat there in the cosmic darkness, like a monument to patience, its mysterious patterns pulsing in what almost seemed like a rhythm. "Try standard diplomatic frequencies," Zephyr ordered. "All languages, all protocols." For the next hour, they broadcast every form of greeting known to the Federation. Mathematical sequences, musical patterns, even simple pictographs representing peace and friendship. The ship's only response was to adjust its position slightly, turning to face them more directly. "It knows we're here," Vex observed. "But it's not talking." That's when the Federation's third exploration fleet arrived in a brilliant display of lights and power. 12 heavy cruisers, 6 escort frigates, and the flagship Stellar Pride, a massive dreadnought that served as Admiral Korath's mobile command center. The fleet arranged itself in standard exploration formation, impressive enough to show strength, but not so aggressive as to provoke a fight. Admiral Korath's voice crackled across all frequencies. "Unknown vessel, this is Admiral Korath of the Galactic Federation. You have entered Federation space without authorization. Identify yourself immediately, or prepare to be escorted to the nearest Federation facility for processing." The mysterious ship did not respond. "Unknown vessel, you have 30 seconds to comply with Federation protocols. Failure to identify yourself will be considered a hostile act." Still nothing. Zephyr watched his screens with growing dread. He had served under Admiral Korath before, and knew the Zalaxian's pride would not allow this challenge to go unanswered. "Admiral, request permission to try alternative contact methods. This vessel may be using communication systems we don't understand." "Negative, Commander. We follow Federation protocols." "If it won't talk, it will comply." Korath's voice carried the edge that preceded his most dangerous decisions, the critical mistake on the bridge of Stellar Pride. Admiral Korath studied the readings from his science officers with growing frustration. The unknown ship was clearly more advanced than anything in the Federation fleet, but it wasn't responding to proper diplomatic procedures. In his 40 years of service, every species they had encountered had eventually followed standard protocols. The fact that this one didn't meant either it was too primitive to understand or too arrogant to care. "Sir," reported his tactical officer, a nervous young celestial named Lyra, "the vessel is scanning us. Deep scans, right through our shields. It's mapping our entire fleet layout, weapon systems, even crew quarters." "What?" Korath's silver skin darkened with anger. Detailed scanning of military vessels was considered an act of war under Federation law. Raise shields all vessels. Charge forward weapons, but do not target. We'll show them some Federation courtesy. The 18 ships of the Third Fleet powered up their defensive systems in perfect synchronization. Shields blazed to life, weapons charged with barely contained energy, and targeting systems locked onto the mysterious vessel from every angle. For a moment, the unknown ship did nothing. Then, something changed in its energy pattern. The blue lines along its hull began pulsing faster, and new patterns appeared, spreading across its surface like a network of neural pathways coming alive. Back on monitoring post Omega-7, Chief Bricks was staring at his instruments in disbelief. "Commander, the energy readings just spiked by 400%. Whatever it was doing before, it's doing a lot more of it now." Zephyr felt a chill run through his forearms. "Admiral, recommend immediate withdrawal. Those power readings suggest—" "Stay off this frequency, Commander," Korath snapped. "Unknown vessel, you have been scanning Federation military assets without authorization. This is your final warning. Stand down your scanning systems and prepare to be boarded, or we will consider you a hostile force." The mysterious ship finally responded, but not with words. A single pulse of energy, almost too brief to detect, swept across the Federation fleet. It wasn't an attack. The shields didn't even register it as a threat. It was more like a gentle touch, a whisper across their electronic systems. But in that whisper, every Federation vessel heard the same thing. A voice, speaking in perfect galactic standard, with an accent none of them recognized, but somehow felt familiar. "I am the Silent Guardian. I have been waiting. You have forgotten who we are, but we have not forgotten who you have become. Stand down. This is mercy." Admiral Korath's face flushed with rage. The nerve of this unknown vessel, making demands on a Federation admiral. "All ships target the hostile vessel. We do not negotiate with terrorists or pirates. Prepare to fire on my command." "Sir," Lieutenant Lyra's voice was shaking. "The power readings from that ship just increased by another 600%. Whatever it's preparing to do, I don't care if it's preparing to sing opera," Korath snarled. "No one threatens a Federation fleet in my sector. All ships fire at will." 18 Federation warships opened fire simultaneously. Plasma cannons, ion beams, and kinetic missiles streaked across space toward the mysterious vessel. It was enough firepower to level a small moon. The Silent Guardian moved, not quickly. There was no sense of desperation or panic in its motion. It simply flowed to one side like water, letting the entire barrage pass harmlessly through empty space. Then it spoke again, and this time its voice carried a weight that seemed to press against their minds. "You have chosen to make this difficult. Very well. Let me remind you why the galaxy once knew to listen when Earth spoke. What happened next would be talked about in military academies for generations to come, though few would believe the reports until they saw the evidence with their own eyes. The Silent Guardian didn't attack the Federation fleet. Instead, it simply reached out, streams of energy, thin as threads, but precise as surgical instruments, extended from the mysterious ship toward each Federation vessel. They moved not at the speed of light, but at the speed of thought, finding their targets with impossible accuracy. Admiral Korath watched in horror as the energy threads touched his ships one by one. Evasive maneuvers. All ships scatter formation. But it was too late. The moment those energy threads made contact, the Federation ships began shutting down. Not destroyed, not exploded, not torn apart, just quietly, efficiently, completely. Disabled dot weapons went offline. Engines stopped responding. Life support switched to emergency power. Communications went dead. One by one, the pride of the Federation's Third Fleet became nothing more than expensive metal floating in space. The entire engagement lasted exactly 4 minutes. When it was over, 18 Federation warships drifted helplessly in the void, their crews alive but completely powerless. The Silent Guardian moved among them like a shepherd checking on sleeping sheep, its energy patterns now calm and steady once again. And it spoke one final time, and its words were broadcast not just to the disabled fleet, but to every Federation monitoring station within 50 light years. "This is the Silent Guardian of the Terran Federation. We withdrew from galactic affairs 150 years ago, to allow younger species to find their own path. We have been watching. We have been patient. We have seen what you have built and what you have become. Some of it gives us hope. Much of it does not. We are not here to conquer. We are not here to rule. We are here to remind you that there are still those who remember what civilization means. Consider this a lesson in humility. The next lesson may be harder to learn. The massive ship turned slowly, its hull pattern shifting to new configurations, and began moving toward the inner systems of Federation space dot behind it in the wreckage. Of their pride, the crews of the Third Fleet sat in their darkened ships and wondered what other lessons humanity might have to teach. Asterisk. When humanity remembers, the message spreads news of the Third Fleet's defeat spread through the galaxy faster than light-speed communications. Within hours, every major world, trading post, and military installation knew the impossible truth. The humans had returned, and they had made the Federation's finest fleet look like children playing with toys. On the Federation capital world of Nexus Prime, the Grand Council convened in emergency session. Representatives from 47 different species filled the great chamber, their voices creating a chaos of fear, anger, and confusion that echoed off the crystal walls. Council Speaker Thane, an elderly Altarian whose blue skin had faded too, silver with age, called for order with little success. The various ambassadors were shouting over each other in a dozen different languages, each demanding immediate action, though none could agree on what that action should be. The humans are extinct, roared Ambassador Drex of the Thrakari Imperium, his massive form towering over the other representatives. This is some trick, some unknown species using their technology. The energy signatures don't lie, countered Ambassador Siren of the Celestial Union, her voice calm despite the fear in her silver eyes. We all have the recordings. Those patterns match pre-silenced Terran technology exactly. Then they're back for revenge, hissed Ambassador Vorth of the Dracner Republic, his scales rattling with anxiety. They've been planning this for a century and a half. They're going to make us pay for forgetting them. But not everyone shared that fear. In the gallery reserved for minor species, those with only observer status in the council, a different conversation was taking place. The representative from Kepler-7, a small agricultural world that had been struggling under Federation taxation, leaned toward her neighbor from the mining colonies of the Outer Rim. "Did you hear what the ship said?" she whispered. "About remembering. What civilization means. What if they're not here to hurt us? What if they're here to help?" Similar conversations were happening across the galaxy. On worlds where the Federation's rule had been harsh, where corporate interests had trampled the rights of ordinary citizens, where justice had been bought and sold like any other commodity, people looked up at the stars and wondered if maybe, just maybe, someone still remembered what it meant to do the right thing. The Silent Guardian's mission, meanwhile, the Silent Guardian continued its steady journey toward the heart of Federation space. Its course took it past monitoring stations, trade routes, and patrol sectors, and everywhere it went, Federation forces scrambled to get out of its way. Deep inside the ship's core, in a chamber that existed as much in digital space as physical reality, the vessel's controlling intelligence reviewed the data it had gathered from its encounter with the Third Fleet. Captain Thane Reeves had died over 100 years ago, but his memories lived on in the ship's quantum consciousness. Matrix merged with the most advanced AI humanity had ever created. The fusion of human intuition and artificial precision made the Silent Guardian unique among Earth's Guardian fleet. It could think like a human, feel like a human, but process information and calculate probabilities like the most powerful computer ever built. Analysis complete, the hybrid consciousness reported to itself in Captain Reeves' remembered voice. Federation military doctrine has improved in tactical flexibility, but decreased in strategic wisdom. Individual crew competence remains high, but command structure shows signs of institutional arrogance. Recommendation: continue with original parameters. The Silent Guardian's mission was not conquest. It was reconnaissance, evaluation, and if necessary, correction. Earth had not sent it to destroy the Federation, but to determine whether the galaxy had learned to govern itself wisely in humanity's absence. So far, the results were mixed. The ship's sensors detected a distress signal from a nearby System 3. Federation patrol ships were under attack by a group of pirate vessels. Standard protocol would have been to let Federation forces handle their own problems, but the Silent Guardian's enhanced sensors revealed that one of the pirate ships was firing on a civilian transport that had been caught in the crossfire. Decision took 0.003 seconds. Unexpected intervention. Captain Marcus Webb of the Federation patrol ship Defender was having the worst day of his career. His small squadron had been escorting a convoy of medical supplies to the plague-stricken world of Sigma Draconis when 12 pirate vessels had jumped them. Just outside the system's asteroid belt, the pirates were using some kind of new jamming technology that made their weapons more accurate while disrupting Federation targeting systems. His 2 escort frigates had already taken heavy damage, and the medical transport they were protecting was hemorrhaging atmosphere from multiple hull breaches. "Sir, we're not going to make it," reported his tactical officer, Lieutenant Sarah. "Kim, they've got us outnumbered 6-1, and their tech is better than our briefings indicated." Webb was about to order the convoy to scatter when something impossible appeared on his sensors. The Silent Guardian, the mysterious ship that had humiliated Admiral Korath's fleet just days ago, was approaching their position at incredible speed. "Sir, should we call for help?" asked his communications officer. "From who?" Webb laughed bitterly. "The thing that's coming is more dangerous than the pirates." But the Silent Guardian didn't attack the Federation ships. Instead, it passed right through their formation like a ghost, its shield somehow allowing their weapons' fire to pass harmlessly through its hull. For a moment, Webb thought he was hallucinating. Then the pirate fleet simply stopped. Not destroyed, not disabled, stopped. Their engines cut out, their weapons powered down, their communications went silent. 12 heavily armed pirate vessels became 12 pieces of expensive debris in less than 10 seconds. The Silent Guardian moved to the damaged medical transport and extended what looked like liquid metal tendrils from its hull. The tendrils sealed the hull breaches, restored atmospheric pressure, and even began repairing the ship's damaged engines. When the work was done, a message appeared on every ship's communication system, written in perfect galactic standard. "Medical supplies have been delivered to Sigma Draconis. Transport crew will recover fully. Federation patrol vessels, your courage in protecting civilians is noted and commended. The galaxy needs more like you." Then the Silent Guardian was gone, leaving behind a very confused Federation patrol and 12 pirate ships that would need to be towed to the nearest detention facility. Captain Webb stared at his screens for a long moment before turning to his communications officer. "Send a message to Fleet Command. Tell them the Silent Guardian just saved our lives and protected a medical convoy. Tell them I don't think these humans are our enemies." The awakening on Earth, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains of North America, in a facility that had been hidden from the galaxy for over a century. Emergency lights began flashing in sequence. Admiral Sarah Chun, last commander of the Terran Defense Fleet, opened her eyes for the first time in 153 years. The stasis chamber's medical systems had kept her body perfectly preserved, but her mind needed a moment to catch up with reality. Memories flooded back. The decision to withdraw from galactic affairs, the Great Silence, the Guardian ship sent out to watch and wait. "Computer, status report," she said, her voice hoarse but steady. "Admiral Chun, welcome back," replied the facility's eye in a voice she remembered well. Guardian Unit 1 has initiated contact protocols. The galaxy has been eventful in our absence. Chun pulled herself out of the stasis pod and walked to the facility's main control room. Through reinforced windows, she could see the massive construction bays where Earth's true fleet had been waiting. Hundreds of ships, each one more advanced than the Silent Guardian, each one containing the sleeping crew that would be needed if humanity ever had to return to the stars. "Show me what Guardian 1 encountered," she ordered. For the next hour, Chun reviewed the data from the Silent Guardian's encounters with Federation forces. She saw the arrogance of Admiral Korath, the courage of Captain Webb, the fear and hope spreading across the galaxy as news of humanity's return reached every inhabited world. Analysis. Computer, are we needed? Assessment inconclusive, Admiral. The Galactic Federation has brought stability to many worlds, but corruption and inequality remain significant problems. Many species remember Earth favorably and would welcome our return. Others see us as a threat to the current order. Chun nodded. It was about what she had expected. Humanity's withdrawal hadn't been because they were defeated or destroyed. It had been a deliberate choice to let the younger species learn to govern themselves. But learning was messy, and sometimes the students needed a reminder of what they were supposed to be learning. "Wake the fleet commanders," she ordered. "Not the entire fleet, not yet. Just the senior staff. We need to make some decisions." As stasis pods throughout the facility began their revival sequences, Chun walked to a window overlooking Earth's surface. The planet had healed beautifully in humanity's absence. Forests covered lands that had once been cities. Oceans ran clean and blue, and the few remaining human settlements had learned to live in harmony with the world that had given them birth. But now it was time to return to the stars, not as conquerors or saviors, but as the older siblings the galaxy had apparently forgotten it needed. The galaxy's response, the Federation's response to humanity's return, was swift and predictable. Within a week of the Silent Guardian's appearance, they had mobilized the largest fleet in galactic history. 200 ships from a dozen different worlds, led by Admiral Korath himself in a brand new super dreadnought called the Galactic Justice. But the fleet's mission was not entirely military. The Federation Council had finally listened to the SIA, voices of reason who pointed out that the humans had shown remarkable restraint. They could have destroyed the Third Fleet entirely, but instead had simply disabled it. They could have ignored the medical transport under pirate attack, but instead had saved it. Maybe, just maybe, the humans could be reasoned with. The fleet took position at the edge of the Sol system, far enough away to avoid being seen as an immediate threat, close enough to respond if negotiations went badly. Admiral Korath had been stripped of operational command after his disastrous first encounter, but his tactical expertise was still valuable. Earth's response was typically human in its directness. Instead of sending a fleet to meet the Federation forces, they sent a single ship. Not the Silent Guardian, which was still patrolling the outer systems, but something new. Something that made even the massive Galactic Justice look small by comparison. The ship was called Harmony, and it was 10 kilometers long, built not for war but for diplomacy. Its hull was a warm silver color that seemed to glow with inner light, and its design incorporated elements from every major galactic civilization. It was a statement written in metal and energy. We remember all of you. We learned from all of you. Now let us teach you what we learned from each other. Admiral Chun stood on Harmony's bridge, looking out at the Federation fleet that had come to meet them. She was wearing the blue and silver uniform of the Terran Defense Fleet, but the rank insignia on her collar was new. Ambassador Admiral, a rank created specifically for this moment. "Open a channel to the Federation fleet," she ordered. Admiral Korath's face appeared on the main screen, his silver skin showing the stress of the past week. Behind him, Chun could see the bridges of other Federation ships, representing dozens of species she remembered from humanity's earlier interactions with the galaxy. "I am Admiral Sarah Chun of the Terran Federation," she said simply. "We need to talk." What followed was the most important conversation in galactic history, though neither side realized it at the time. It would lead to new alliances, new enemies, and ultimately to a galaxy where the phrase humanity F******, yeah, would mean something very different than anyone expected. But that is a story for another day. For now, it was enough that two great civilizations had found each other again, and the galaxy would never be the same. As the Silent Guardian continued its patrol of the outer systems, its hybrid consciousness noted with satisfaction that the lessons seemed to be working. The galaxy was starting to remember that true strength came not from the ability to destroy, but from the wisdom to know when not to use that ability. Humanity was back, not as conquerors, but as guardians. And the galaxy would be better for it.